It's one of those. It's good evening. It's good evening from me. Well, tonight, from the kitchen of Mustardess, I'm going to be making a cheese and onion pie, as you've seen from the thumbnail, and that, what I promise, is what I will deliver. The only thing is, though, will you see the finished result by the end of the live stream? The answer to that is I'm not even sure, because I will do this live stream for the maximum, ideally of 2 hours. That is the maximum, quite simply for the fact that that will be quite late. And my friend and colleague, Mr. Boaty, will be doing a live stream from 11 o'clock tonight. And I don't want to tread on his feet. Oh no, you don't want to tread on that man's feet. Oh, that'd be trouble. Trouble indeed. Trouble with a capital F. Now, the problem with trying to do this pie all in one go this quickly can only really be the amount of time it's going to cook, the pastry involved. But the pastry I have made. I've already made it. I made it just earlier on. I can just unwrap it and just show you that. It just looks like bread, doesn't it? Essentially bread, pastry, pasta. It's all almost the same thing. But obviously there's no yeast involved in making pastry. So I would say pastry is closer to pasta than it is bread. I would have actually quite liked to do the video of making the pastry itself. Maybe I'll do that another time, because that, again, just like making bread, is immensely satisfying to be crumbling. You know, if you don't know how to make pastry, by the way, then join the club, because I don't either really. I've only ever made it once before, and that once before I had to look at some instructions on what you're supposed to do. And rather than looking again, I thought, I'll just see if I can remember. That's one onion into the pan of, at one point, non-stickiness. But on this occasion, I'm going to do 2 onions. And the reason for that is that the pie I'm about to make is going to be a big one. Oh yes, a big one indeed. Gosh, my knifing technique's not very good, I'm afraid. I do find that when I'm cutting onions, I don't talk as much. It's because I try and get the knife as sharp as possible, and that means it will slice through the end of your finger much more readily, and I don't fancy doing that. Right. 2 good-sized onions. Oh, I don't want that in there. It's a bit off-coloured. If you cook an onion, or rather, when you chop an onion up, do you find that it makes your eyes water? Most people do. I don't really find it happens too much these days, but apparently there's something you can do about this. And actually, I forgot all about it until one of my daughters told me that if you have a tea towel, a damp tea towel, where you're doing the chopping, that somehow stops it from being a problem. Right, so we have onion, 2 olive, and some olive oil, and then I'm going to put the gas on. Oh, I'll tell you what, I should do it on this one instead, because then you can see the progress of something happening. I'm going to put a really low light as well. The wooden spoon of Mixy-Uppy. There's not one there. There's one here. It's one of my newer wooden spoons. I do like a wooden spoon. A wooden spoon is exactly what you need for stirring. Even when the non-stick pan's no longer non-stick, it just feels nicer. We're going to make an equivalent. You stirring with a wooden spoon in the pan is a bit like washing your car with a microfiber instead of a sponge, or even a Brillo pad to get rid of some of the burnt poo. I'm going to put a great big dollop, and I really do mean a big dollop of butter into this as well. There we go, that much. I'll call that about 30 grams. But I can't be entirely sure because I didn't measure it. Other ingredients that are going to be going into this particular thing will be garlic, of course, cumin, mustard, white pepper, flour, and then some cheese. But what we have to do first is cook the onions. Oh, there is another thing as well, which I forgot. I forgot to even mention. Partly cheese sauce. What we want is milk as well. But I'll go through that as we go along. If you're interested. If you're not interested and you've just joined me just to be sociable, that's as good as you can get as far as I'm concerned. And with that, I'm going to read the comments and see exactly who's here, because that is on a nice low enough light for me to not be too concerned by it. And Barry Scrotter, or Ricky Dinky, formerly known as Barry Scrotter, he did regrettably changed his name. Good afternoon, Captain. Good afternoon from the guy from SETI Alpha 5 as well, Barry and Karen. Okay. I thought I said Carrie and Baron then, but I didn't, did I? Jimmy Quinn is here. Hello, Jimmy Quinn. Hello, Barry Carey. Mighty Cat Mods. You can't beat a good pie, but you can eat one, and that's going to be the intention this evening. What's Captain Birdseye cooking for us tonight, I wonder? Asks Barry Squatter, even though he's seen the thumbnail. And as it goes, what's in the thumbnail is what's going to happen. Unlike the last one, where I was rather deceptive, but I was still brave at the end. Right. Or as a boaty person would probably say, you can't beat a good ginger pie. Gosh, I wonder why I'd say that. Everybody's just saying hello to each other. Right, I've heard there's a... Oh, that's a bit cruel. I've heard there's a job vacancy for the Hairy Bikers. I never watched the Hairy Bikers, but I could see that connection between the two, and they look like they just had a great deal of fun together, and it is actually awfully sad. Oh, good old Neil Gibbons, the Gibbonator, is here. That's good to see. Hello, Captain Mustard. How are we? I'm okie. Boaties open the world to live stream could be. Boaties open to the world of live stream could be fun. So, right, okay, right. I want, as of course I am cooking as well as reading comments out. I can do it live stream just from reading comments out. That's how we do it basically. You read comments out, you say something incidental about it, and then you move on to the next one. But whilst cooking, I've got to do this as well. And then, of course, I'm going to need a cup of tea at some point. So I will just read the comments that are kind of directed at me and not the chit-chat between yourselves. Evening, Paul. Would you consider taking on the persons of Keith Floyd for tonight's episode? The person? Oh, the persona, sorry. Yeah, my eyesight again. Well, I'm going wine. I've got a bit of port left over from, I don't know how long ago that was actually. Last time I had cheese and biscuits. That was about 3 months back, I think. I do like a bit of port. Very nice. Well, how about port and cheese and onion pie? Will it work with that? I think it probably would actually. It's bound to, isn't it? Neil fixed the garage door so the wife doesn't have to use mold grips to open it. Oh, huh? Good old Neil. Yep, managed to hunt down my local tool checker in Birmingham to get some bits to fix my trailer. All right, okay, all right, okay, okay. Oh gosh, I've caught up already. Isn't that fantastic? That means I can just. I was going to say relax. I mean, I do. I like people commenting. I do. It makes it all worthwhile. It's nice to have people here. Hello, Jimmy. Hello. Right. Okay. Luz Resendiz. Lou Resendiz. And that says, I don't know if it says Bob or not. Belty puts ginger in everything, or so he says. Well, ginger's really good, that's why. Ginger's not only good for you, but it tastes nice. And if you don't like the taste of it, it's not so appealing. But I wouldn't even say ginger was an acquired taste. But I won't be putting ginger in this. And I do put ginger in an awful lot of things. I'm going to try ginger in the breakfast cereal soon. Martin Kennedy is here, and he says, hello. I reckon you should do a Lego man cooking a pie. Oh gosh, do you know what? That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Ranan Noor. Let's give it a go. Right, let's see. Now, once you've finished cooking the onions, you've got to put some cheese in there. And that would be maybe how he does it, because he doesn't really do cooking. The cheese doesn't go in next. Oh no. Yes, hello, Raynandor. Hello, Raynandor. Now, what am I doing next? I know what I'm doing next, and that is garlic. Again, we want lots of garlic in this, I think. Amy and Marshmallow. Very interesting name. Thank you very much for joining. Amy and Marshmallow. New people, anybody new here tonight, consider that I am in Great Britain and I don't know where you're from, so I'm always very interested to find out where people are coming from, how they've found the live stream or how they've found it, etc. And also to ask them if they would like to subscribe to the channel, because it's free. And you may as well like the live stream as well whilst you're at it, because that is also free and very helpful to me. Right, there we go, there's the skin off the garlic. Now the skin off the garlic, then we can boom the garlic inside. Oh, there's another one there. I reckon, oh, wait, hang on. Yeah. Can anybody think of any food that ginger wouldn't go well with? My great-grandfather ate it with melon. I'd try that. Pedro Daniel, what you're cooking? Well, it's a cheese and onion pie, Pedro. What are your fish's names? What are your fish's names? Now, Raina, please be patient. You're lucky. There aren't a whole load of other comments for me to read through, because I wouldn't have got to that very quickly. They don't all have names. I can't remember. There's too many of them to give them names. But there's not. There's too. If I told you what all the names were, then that would be quite a big distraction. But that one there, that was called marmalade. Okay, so that's one you can know about. Now, just like ginger for most things, garlic is one of those things. It's very, very difficult to overdo. So I don't think I will overdo it, but I will be putting quite a bit in. And no need for a crusher, just cut it up into little bits. That's perfectly fine. There we go. Hey, almost dropped it on the floor. A nice bit of garlic. I need to adjust that camera again, don't I? Because what I did there was move the camera so you could see me, so I could see you talking. Crazy kid. Hey, fish names. Formerly known as Barry Scrotter watching. Oh, okay, yeah, 82 watching. There's 62 now. Is there a fish in that tank called Barry? Barry 1, Barry 2, Barry 3, etc. No, there isn't. But I tell you what, if you like, I could choose one of the fish and name it Barry. And I'll tell you how I can do this, because if we just have a little look here, we can see these ones here, the rosy barbs, they all have names. These ones with a black stripe, they are penguin tetras, and they don't have names. So the biggest of the penguin tetras, I shall now call Barry, just for you. You have been fed, fish friends. You have been fed, you don't really need any more. They're much friendlier than you'd expect. Much friendlier. I had to put my hands in there the other day, and they're nibbling on my hands, which is kind of interesting. Pedro Daniel, cook the fish, don't name them. Well, you don't buy fish and keep them in a tank to cook. I mean, you can buy fish that's already been prepared for cooking. And I do eat fish, I just don't eat my own. Thanks, mustard. Right, yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome. It's the least I could do. I mean, you know, you are a dedicated watcher of my videos and live streams, so if I can't name a fish after you, what else can I do, eh? Right, so the onions and the garlic are now nicely cooking away, and at this point I shall add a nice big bit of white pepper, like so. And whilst I'm at it as well, I might as well bung the cumin in. And the next step will be to add some flour. No measuring, measuring is for wimps. And when I say measuring for wimps, I don't really mean that. I mean that measuring is for people that will get it completely wrong if they don't measure it. And for some reason, how I do it, I don't know, but every time I cook something, it turns out exactly as I expected it to do. That's without any measuring. So hopefully it's that kind of confidence that you may even call arrogance. Why I made my pastry and I didn't even bother to find out how you're supposed to do it. I just thought, well, it's butter and flour, and you sort of blend it all together, and you add some water. And then your best of cooling it down, and a couple of egg yolks in there as well seemed to make it quite good. One time before I made pastry, and I thought, this is quite good. And the reason I made it was because you can buy a pre-rolled pastry in the supermarket that to me just seems a bit tasteless. And the other thing is as well that it might be practical and easy to do to just buy this just rolled paper in greaseproof paper, just rolled pastry in greaseproof paper, but it's done with cheap ingredients. That's the thing. So flour, water, yeah, that's water. You can't really say that water's a cheap or expensive ingredient, but the oily bit. Now I used butter, proper butter, not margarine or some sort of butter substitute or vegetable oil. So that should make a difference with that. Let's see who else has joined me. You speak Turkish, asks. Now, what's that? I'm going to need my glasses again, aren't I? I apologise for this. Actually, oh, they're not. No, they are. I thought they went in the case then. I don't speak Turkish anyway. But it's only right that I read your name out, isn't it? Ekmek. I'll just call you Ekmek. carp. Now you surprise me for that. Oh, right, yes, no, they aren't really shy fish, and that bothered by people catching one sometimes easier than another thing. Right, yeah, I've heard that as well. It's easy to catch a carp because they just come up to you and go, all right, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Fancy a chat? Fancy a game of chess? And before you know it, they're in your bloody pan. So, a bit like the dodos. The dodos went extinct because they had no fear of humans, did they not? Pingu Concord is here. Bonsoir, Capitano Mostardo. How's your day been? I've had a rather unproductive day as far as work's concerned because I needed to do some appointment stuff today. So I went to the yard this morning and I gave the car a wash. You can probably guess which one. The paint's pretty bad on it, all over, and it'd be nice to try and make it a bit nicer, but I think I might be better off just liking the fact that it's a bit rough and ready and probably enjoying it more for it. But the thing is, I did separately, I took both the girls out for a spin up Blackstone Edge and they absolutely loved it, with the roof down and the wind blowing everywhere. It was fantastic. Rupert here again. Hello, Rupert. Hello, welcome. Angeline Urbano Ramirez. Hi. Welcome to this live stream. Where now, what I noticed last time I did a live stream was the numbers. They do this thing where it's like they come in waves. People turn up, suddenly there's loads of people, and then they disappear, and then they come back again. It's a different set of people, but it's curious. I mean, it's interesting enough. I like it. Now, the amount of flour we're going to use. Again, an amount of flour that I haven't even decided. I'm just going to chuck a load in. Remember that I'm making the pig pie. In fact, this is going to be the dish. You know, it's a big dish. Not some quaint little cheese and onion pie with a lovely crispy top. No, this is going to be like the kind of thing you get served at school. And, oh, right, okay. What is bad about the paint and wet? Right, it's crazed in places, it's just rough really, but it's the crazed bits, and it's had bits of overspray on stuff and bits of repairs. None of it's really that good, but I think personally it would benefit from a proper respray. The girls in the car, that's the reason I want rag top too. I know my lads would love it. Oh, right. You are lucky. My kids hated going in the Peugeot 306 convertible with the roof down. Now the 306 convertible, that's a 2+2, isn't it? So could you actually fit anybody in the back, or was it just, dangerous? Right, 1 heaped spoonful of flour. Let's turn this over here again. That's 1 big heaped spoon of flour. I'm going to go for 2 heaped teaspoon. I'm going to go for 3, I think. And then mix it all up. But I'm going to have another one in there because I want this pan to be actually full. I mean, like properly full of lovely cheese sauce. So the onions and garlic now, they look, well, actually, I'll tell you what they look a bit like in here. Now, you can tell me if you agree or not. It looks like it could be crystallized ginger, but obviously it's not. Does anybody know what the next step to this? Anybody? Can you guess what's going to happen next? Well, I'm going to make a cup of tea. Are you making a pie? Asks Angelino. Yes, I am. Ooh, but why? Oh, well, who's that? Right, hang on. That's a new one. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on, you changed the name again. Or have you? No, I'm thinking of somebody else. Rich T. I'm going to call you Rich TJ. Loves Turbo Poor. A, but why? I don't know. Yes, up to 13-year-olds fit in the back comfortably. Now, so that's the thing. I can only have one, can't I? It's a big difference. Right, I'm going to get the milk, and also I'm just going to make a cup of tea because the thirst has become a problem. Not a real problem, but the start of a problem. Sipping in the water, to the water, to the kettle, oh, and switch the kettle on, the boiling water to make with the You all know I can make a cup of tea because I've seen you do it at work a lot, or some of you have anyway. Should I have bought some more milk? That's the question. Don't know. I might end up using up all of that. So, a bit of milk in to start with. And as you mix this about, then maybe I should have an assistant for this that could actually an assistant that is really good with a camera and get the right kind of shots rather than just looking from a distance and just assuming that what I'm telling you is going on in the pan is exactly what's going on in the pan. The first bit of milk that you put in there will actually make it even thicker as it cools down the mixture, and that's very, very thick in there. So some more. Oh gosh, I tell you what, these viewing figures have really disappeared at the moment. Go on, go back up again. Right, Tracy's Afterburners here. Measuring man, oh yeah, of course. Measuring is Allegro man's domain. Now then, here comes measuring man. I know for a fact that Allegro man is not comfortable in the kitchen though. He doesn't do stuff in the kitchen. Anyway, with that amount of milk we put in there, now it has the consistency of porridge, which is still incorrect. We want it not like porridge. It's got to be a sauce. And to start with, a runny sauce, because I'm going to put enough milk in here so it goes runny, and then by keeping the heat and keeping stirring it, etc., it will eventually start to thicken back up again until it's the right consistency to become a sauce, which is probably somewhere about what it looks like now. But that there'll be a lot more than what there is. Oh dear. Oops. Oops. Oh, I'm going to put the rest of the milk in there. It's just as well as some more for other things. Are you British? Asks Angelina. Yes, I am British. I'm very British indeed. And who's that? Galaxy 10. Sup. Sup. What if Mick Hucknall turned up in the kitchen tonight? I think actually it's a bit late to do Mick Hucknall. Oh, I'm very, very tempted. Mick Hucknall is my favourite accent to do. Accent? No, Mick Hucknall is not an accent. Mick Hucknall's a man with a broad Salford accent. and nobody so far has agreed that my impression of him is accurate. Even though I know it is, because I'd listened to the chap on the radio. Not listened to him, in fact, when he was on the radio, I kind of tuned out. But when I did hear him, I straight away had his voice. I had his voice nailed to the bat. Easy one to do, but it's just a bit loud. And the other thing is as well, maybe I should actually have a go doing some make-up with some proper things other than just saying, introducing himself and saying there's nothing to worry about, because I'm sure he does actually talk about other things as well. Sorry. Rover Joe is here. Mustard in the kitchen. Mustard in the kitchen, he says. He's like a chanty, ranty. Yes, excellent. I made a YouTube video today, says Rupert, about making fajitas. Ah, very good. Nothing to worry about. I'm so tempted. So tempted to just burst into some makeup. Thanks for that pink. Jimmy Quinn. Hello, Toby. Oh, what about my cup of tea? I seem to have forgotten about it. No, I never do, do I? I need to drink my cup of tea. Well, I need to actually pour the water in the kettle first. Oh no, boil the water, pour the cup of tea from the kettle. So it looks like there wasn't even enough milk in that particular bit of leftover milkiness to get to the right level anyway, because it's a bit too thick, a bit too quickly. Haha, says Rupert. Hello. So, we're just going to get some more, don't we? And in it goes. Oh, yes, there's going to be a lot of pie here. A lot of pie. You'll never have seen so much pie in your life. You'll go, my oh my, that's a lot of pie. Who could possibly have a face big enough to consume all that? And the answer is me. I'll be able to eat it. I'll be able to eat it. Eat it, eat it. Put on. And we are relying rather heavily on the actual pastry working because, like I said, I mean, this is the jeopardy involved in this particular thing, that pastry making is something it's not a dark art. Lots of people make pastry. It's just that so far I've only ever done it once. And there's a very, very good chance that the opportunity of embarrassment will pop along and make me look like a fool. And I shall enjoy that just as much as I'll enjoy getting it right. I just don't know which way it's going to go just yet. I'll soon find out. But the only thing is, I can't really start rolling this pastry out just yet because I've got to keep this stirring. If you leave this, it'll just get stuck to the bottom and there'll be big clumps of floury mess on the pan. So that's why I'm going to just keep on doing this. I'm just going to keep on stirring away. If only I could read your comments out from this distance, that really would be fabulous. But I don't think I can. I'm going to have to take a chance on this. Oh, I'll see if anybody else is news here as well. I do like new people. Oh, are you putting any special seasoning or ingredients in? Asks Rupert. What else did you ask as well? Because I'm making one for a family soon of 7 people. And the trouble is, special ingredients, no. You can be a little bit daring with something like a cheese pie, but not everybody really wants something with a bit of extra taste. And so really, the best thing to do if you're cooking for people, unless they know exactly what to expect, is to just play it safe. a bit of mustard in the cheese sauce. Mustard brings out the flavour of cheese, but you don't want to do it like I do, where you make it so you can just about taste the cheese. The mustard is rather winning the battle of the flavour. That's not entirely true. The cumin. Cumin might seem like a slightly odd ingredient, but I can guarantee it works. Black pepper or white pepper doesn't really make a difference. Onions and garlic, all these things, well, they're kind of a safe bet. So I think that this is going to be, it's not going to be anything that amazingly different, but it should be amazingly tasty. And if it isn't amazingly tasty, I shall endeavour to correct my mistake and make it better next time, because that's who I am. Now, what happened to my cup of tea? I seem to have started making it. Oh, that's it, yeah, I got distracted stirring this up and worrying about it, worrying that if I stop stirring, then suddenly it'll stick to the bottom, and then I'll have to just spend the rest of the time just undoing it all. But I really want my cup of tea, so come on, quickly. Man can't operate without his cup of tea very well. I mean, I can, but I do better with a cup of tea. And luckily the milk's already here as well, so all I've got to do now is put this back in the fridge. And the fridge is conveniently located in the kitchen, where I happen to be. More comments to read, I guess, might be worthwhile having a read of. See, just then, with this other wave of people turning up, 5 minutes ago, I was down to 8 viewers, and then it went up to 116. And now it's down to 84, and I think what's going to happen now is going to carry on dropping until I'm back down to about 8 people. And then after 5 minutes, it might just go back up again. Oh, it's gone to 112. Sometimes the algorithm's working in my favour, and other times it simply isn't. So if you're watching this, if you just flicked into this particular live stream to see what's going on, please stay. Introduce yourself. Say hello. Ask what I'm cooking, even though you can see it's a cheese and meat pie. I don't mind. I'm a very patient man. And this is starting to thicken up nicely, and I'm so glad I've stuck with just turning it like this. When I've done a sauce like this in the past, I have on occasion just looked away for a couple of minutes and found myself regretting that particular move. You do want it to be reasonably smooth, a smooth sauce, before you add the cheesy goodness to it. Once it thickens up, then you don't really have to worry about it sticking any longer, because it would stick, but you don't end up with clumps everywhere once it has actually thickened up. Do you want to have a look? Do you want to have a look to see the progress? There we go. It's got a bit of a wait before it's thickened up just right, but it's an awful lot of cheese sauce, isn't it? As soon as I've got the cheese inside here, actually that's the thing. Get the cheese in, I can switch the heat off, and then I can start rolling the pastry out. Next bit of ingredient now is going to be a nice spoonful of Dijon mustard. About that much is just right. Tasty. This time the views haven't gone down. That interests me a lot. I really want to read some comments out, but I can't do it because I've got to just keep this moving around. All I can read is just no beer tonight, Porter says Jimmy Quinn. Well, there might be a beer in a bit. One thing I don't do is if I'm going to have a beer, I don't have it early. I have it quite late because as I don't need to explain this, if you like beer, once you've had a beer, that's not the end of it, is it? You want another one. And what happens after that? You want another one. So beer drinking is best for me, is most definitely left until a time where I should be going to sleepy bobos not too long afterwards. Otherwise, I will either run out or drink too many of them, and neither are a particularly pleasant experience. Not like stirring this pan. I'm enjoying this immensely, as you can tell. And I'm not a very easily pleased person. But there is something incredibly satisfying about just keeping the sauce moving around and stopping it from sticking to the bottom. And the payoff will be the sauce being just the right consistency. Oh, I've done the cheese sauce before and then dropped a couple of eggs in it. So that when it's cooked, it has a kind of almost jelly-like texture to it. But I'm not going to do that today. Oh. This is the crucial point now, it's starting to thicken up. It's a bit like, have you ever, well, I'm asking you something, I was going to say, have you ever whipped cream? But you're probably more likely to have made a mousse than whipped cream. But you get to that point where you've been whipping for ages and ages and nothing happens, and suddenly it all just starts to glue up together. And that's what happens with this. Rover Joe, how are you doing tonight? Just like Reverend Boaty. Hang on. What? Oh. Did Mick Hucknall have a slight problem with sex addiction? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Have a look on his Wikipedia page. I had a dream last night that I looked up. I looked at Boaty's World and found him on Wikipedia. Because it's going to happen at some point, isn't it? If you have any white fish of the salmon, you could have put them in that. What? Starry Gazy Pie. Oh. Irene Bangup. Oh no, Bangug. Hi Po. Are you a chef? Asks Pedro Daniel. I'm going to let you have a guess. This seems to be taking a bit longer than normal, actually, but it is kind of getting there. No, I'm not a chef. No, there's no point in keeping you hanging. Thank you. I'll note that down. Right. Are you choking? How to choking? That's an unusual thing to say, surely. Flames. What are you cooking? Cheese sauce. Cheese sauce with cheese and onion pie. I don't know. Oh, no, I suppose, come think of it, if you're watching the shorts, the live streams come up with that, you don't actually see the thumbnail of what it is, so you wouldn't know. So I apologise if I did suggest then that because you're watching it, you'll know what it is, because perhaps you don't. 84 in chat, 100 people watching. Slay. How to cooking? Yes. Stop, says Jessica Seal. Stop what? Cheese onion pie. You should quit, says Jessica. Oh gosh, yes. I mean, that's very good advice, actually. I've been waiting all this time for somebody just to come up with exactly that, to give me the actual reason to do it. And you're right. I should just quit. But not now. I'll do it some other time when I feel like it. Jessica, you should get a life, says, oh, right, okay. No need to stick up for me. I can fight my own battles, even TDR battles. Oh, no, I don't concern myself with them. Oh, Neil's still here. Don't worry about it. Thank you. That's some tasty looking haggis there, Scottish chef man. I want to see the final product, says Flame. Well, you will, but it might just be a photograph on the community page thing. Yeah, it might just be a photograph, because what I have to do next is actually, roll the pastry out, make the pie, and then put it in the oven. I'm probably not going to be doing a live stream for the subsequent hour after that, because that might be just a bit much. But we'll see. You never know. I might have to, if I was to do that, I'd have to have a couple of nip-offs, and nip upstairs and say goodnight to my girls and things like that. It wouldn't really do any harm for me to keep it running. But then, I end up feeling bad. And as Jessica said, that'd be the point where I think, I should just give up. Oh, right. Are you single, sir? Asks Irene. No, I'm not actually. Right. So, Funny Gaming 1901. Can I have a shout out? Yes, you can. Of course, you can. Shout out to Funny Gaming 1901. Pingu isn't wearing his kilt tonight, like he usually does. I know that I left the kilt upstairs. But actually, I decided that it wouldn't be a good idea to wear the kilt tonight because there's so much wobbling around. I don't want anything falling out. That would be most ungentlemanly, wouldn't it? Besides, my kilt needs washing. It does from time to time. It gets stained with engine oil and rabbit wee. Okay, right, I think that is going to be just about right. But it's not, still thickening up, it's still going, still thickening up, that's amazing. Oh yeah, I actually thought before maybe I put too much flour in this, but given the amount of time it's taken just to do this thickening up job, maybe I haven't. Who is spamming? Well, there's always some spam. It's just part of it. I don't mind. It doesn't really bother me. I prefer to have a whole bunch of new people in. Some of them will be good. Some of them will spam. Some of them will be nice new people that I will continue to know. In fact, I mean the whole YouTube thing so far. If you don't know, actually, there's only 44 people here. So it's probably a bit pointless me telling you this now, but on my other channel, I started that off just by doing things. I didn't promote it, I didn't do anything. They just, people come along, and eventually you end up with so many people that you feel like you really know. And then some that you do get to know, some that you do get to meet, such as Pingu, Neil, and all of these other people that like to make a regular appearance. Can I have what are you making? I'm making a cheese and onion pie, but currently with the sauce, Funny Gaming. Give him a chance. I do like fish, yes. Yes, right, now that's it, okay? That is the sauce thickened up to, I think, where I want it. So now, I'm going to switch it off and just read a couple of other comments and then put the cheese in. Must be it's not just, it's very warm in this Scottish kitchen actually. But, I keep moving around, you see. If I move around enough, I never really get cold. Did you see the results of that rust removal stuff I used? I might have done, Rover Joe. Was it really good? Because we could all do some really good rust removal stuff. Zana Marie, how long have you owned Fish Tank for? And what are your favourite fish to raise? Well, we've only had this fish tank for that one. Well, we've had fish for about a year. They're just tropical fish, they're I haven't bred any or anything like that. Most of them in there haven't even fully grown yet. Rachel Stacey is here. Hello, Rachel Stacey. Goofy Goblin. Don't know what you mean by that. Remy is here as well. Let him cook, says Goofy Goblin. Panda Boy 2.0, hello. Football fan 10, are you British? Yes, I am. What do Arnie and Rust have in common? They'll both be back. That's a good one. W-Man, says Goofy. When I was a kid in Aberdeen, says Mighty Cat Mods, when it was cold, we would warm ourselves up around a candle. If it got really cold, we'd light it. Right, football fan says, please don't serve that to the kids. Better order some pizza. Why? That's it. Why wouldn't I give it to them? It's going to be lovely. Anyway, pizza. Fine, I like pizza. But I wouldn't order one. No, just make it. Make a much nicer pizza. I can make a pizza that will actually, you'll want more of. And it will be with much better ingredients and cheaper as well. And did I do a live stream recently where I made a pizza, didn't I? Or was that a video? I don't know. It looks like I'm just going to be doing live streams on this channel rather than videos though, because videos just a bit too time consuming. Robert the Mad Lad says, let him cook. I prefer ham to spam. Oh, me too. Have to go, says Angelino. Okay, bye-bye. C. Jones, Scottish. It was mint, not Scottish accent, says C. No, it's a joke. It's a running joke that's been going on from somebody else a couple of weeks back, assuming that I was Scottish because I wasn't American, I think. Cheese and onion pie. Never seen anything like that. Only in Britain. OMG, you have Chinese dominoes, Indian. Please don't feed the kids. Yeah, but the trouble is, football fan. People too quick just to have takeaways, and rather than just learning how to cook. And learning how to cook is something that many people are missing out on. And I've said this many a time before, but you're going to eat for the rest of your life, so it's important that you learn to cook, not just eat takeaways. Takeaway food might be nice, but honestly, it's expensive and it's just not that good for you. This guy is mad underrated. Oh gosh, are you talking about me? I hope so. I'd like that. C. Jones, okay, sorry about that. I follow you, by the way, says Angelino. Thank you. Takeaways too much salt. Yes, exactly. You find that with any convenience food or takeaways. I'm still stirring this, I don't really need to. That they use cheap ingredients and they use salt and they use sugar and they use basically stuff that isn't good for you. With a bit of salt, there's a bit of salt in cheese. There's a bit of salt in all sorts of things. There's a bit naturally occurring sugars everywhere, but pre-packaged food, takeaways, way too much of it, and it's unnecessary. But it's done on the cheap to make something taste good without having anything actually good going on. So, the advice of football fan is, I'm afraid, not very good advice at all. Now, we want the cheese. And that is actually the last ingredient I need to worry about within this particular sauce. Change that again, haven't I? All right, yeah, well, thank you very much, football fan. Thank you. Ultra processed food is what pizzas are best off making yourself from scratch. Exactly. And it's not that difficult. And the bread as well. The main difference I find is when you make your own bread and you leave it overnight, then when you cook with that, you can really taste it. So you get a really nice, tasty bread out of it. Takeaway? Right. Do you have any siblings? And how many brothers and sisters? I do have a few brothers actually. I am a Nigerian prince. I want to buy all of your Rover cars. Just send me your credit card details, says Pingu. Will you ever do that cheese thing again? What cheese thing? Hang on. You'll have to remind me, because if it was good, then yes. What cheese thing was it? I don't know. Right, there is a nice piece of cheese. And then there is another nice piece of cheese. There's no need for me to chop this up small because it will just melt. And there's another nice piece of cheese. And there is another nice piece of cheese. And there is another nice piece of cheese. And there is another nice piece of cheese. You get the idea? You just keep on putting the cheese in until there's no cheese left. And that's kind of what's going to happen here. I might just stop at that. So I'm not using the whole block of cheese, but it's going to be a big pie. Oh, what cheese. I would not make a good vegan. Cheese isn't vegan. We're going to hit the moment of truth in a second about the pastry. Did it work? Will it be any good? Because again, that's all about making something better out of something for less. That's an unusual question. Do you own your own place or rent? When you say cheese. Opinions on Leslie Nielsen. Oh. He's not died, has he? That's about $10 worth of cheese. The amount of cheese I put there is probably, in UK money, about £2 worth. The cheese is the expensive bit because the flour is cheap, the water is cheap, oh, and the butter as well. That's but I used maybe a half block of butter so far. So I would estimate that the whole pie is going to cost maybe about £5. Then of course it's cooking it as well, so it's not really cheap, but it should be much better quality. We're starving the rats with this one, says Robert. I love Leicestershire. Red cheese, quite good. Has he? Huh. I can't keep up with all who people are alive and which ones aren't. I was watching Police Squad the other night. It was hilarious. Yeah, I liked Police Squad and Airplane and all the other things he was in. Wish we had smell-o-vision. One day that will happen, for sure. It's bound to, isn't it? Anyway, there's not really anything to smell yet. It's just the cheese sauce isn't going to smell of anything. It'll just smell something once it's cooking. Gareth Evans. Jeremy Kyle or Piers Morgan? For what? For what? A conversation? If it was for a conversation, definitely Piers Morgan. If it was to watch fall off a bike, then definitely Jeremy Kyle. Is Jeremy Kyle still? Oh yeah, he is. It's Jerry Springer who died, isn't it? Now they both have a bit of a reputation, but I just see Jeremy Kyle as just being a shit stir, and that's really it. Defo. I have to get some physical copies of the movies for my collection. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like actual physical things rather than just watching stuff on Netflix then, yes? This, yeah, and this, because the trouble with cooking, just right. Trouble with cooking anything in a big glass dish is it just sticks. Where it won't stick to that, and I think it's probably a bit. Oh, you don't even see what I'm doing again, can you? Sorry about that. Smoked Gouda is good cheese sauce. Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? It's got bags of flavour. Now, can you see what I'm doing? Do you need to see what I'm doing? That sort of thing. Probably not. Right. So here is my pastry. I'm going to just, gosh, it's gone very stretchy actually. It's more like bread dough actually. 2 bits of it, obviously top and bottom. And I've got to try and make this like really big. I mean, like, you know, a really big piece of pastry. Will it work? And then I've got to transfer it from there into the dish as well, which is going to be quite, actually it's getting rather big rather quickly though, I will actually say. And it's still quite big as well. Need a much bigger workspace for this. Oh, we're not too far off there actually. Gosh. Look at the size of that. I think that might do. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Not quite. Where I've gone wrong is, I guess I should have just rolled this on the greaseproof paper rather than just trying to flick it in one go. I'm correcting it, and it's working, sort of. Oh yes, yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I've done it. I've actually almost done it. Almost done it, I say, not entirely. So there's a part of me that's thinking it might be best off just starting this again. Because that bit there is not getting to the right point. Oh, there we go, that's kind of it. You want the pastry obviously to wrap around all of the edges, so when you put the lid on it, it's got something to stick to. Put that there. It was like welding really, but an easier version of welding where you don't end up with archive. Now, I don't think that doesn't look too bad. As you can see, it's a nice big thing. What kind of pastry is this? I don't know. It's just pastry, and it will be rather tasty. I'm quite happy with that actually. Now, back to the other issue, which is of course the sauce. I might have actually just turn this off ever so slightly early because the cheese isn't really melting and it does need to melt. Otherwise, it's just a sauce with blobs of orange cheese in it, isn't it? If you want the cheese sauce to be a different colour, you know, like a kind of orangey colour, you can always add some paprika to it. But I'm not going to bother. Cheese and broccoli is a big hit in the US, so I'm told, apparently, according to C. Jones. Cheese is a luxury. Do you have a favourite cheese? Asks Zana. Zana Marie. Yes, it's just cheddar. Cheddar is the best cheese. As much as I like other cheeses, cheddar is the best one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like owning stuff you can actually hold. But that's surprising, like coming from someone who's only 23. Yeah, I suppose it does. Cheeseburger is here. Cheese and onion pie reminds me of school dinners. I'm sure yours will be nicer though. I remember cheese and onion pie being quite good. Steve Perry sent me a picture. You're in the wrong place, Steve. You should be on the live stream. I think homemade cheese sauce with lightly steamed cauliflower and broccoli is one of the best. Reminds me of my childhood. Actually, yeah, I mean, I could have actually put cauliflower in there. Do you know what? I've got cauliflower as well. Could have had cauliflower cheese pie, if I thought about it. Brussels sprouts, what about that? What kind of pastry dough are you using? It's just pastry I've made myself using the ingredients that you need to make pastry with, which is butter and flour. Cheese whiz on broccoli is... no, I've read that one. No. I don't like cheese. Sports place. Love this guy. Oh, that's cool. Thank you very much. I do, as much as I don't mind comments that refer to me as being somebody who should shut up, etc. It is nice when somebody says something nice. I do appreciate it. It makes me feel all fuzzy inside. So thank you. Anyone watch Car SOS? I haven't watched that in ages. During COVID, cheese quality went down horribly, so now I buy UK only cheese. Well, I don't know. I think, are you in America by any chance? Because food is very different in the UK to what it is in America in the first place. In America, cheese is basically processed stuff, isn't it? There's no proper cheese there. In fact, there's quite a lot, I'm sure a lot of cheese is illegal in America. F4124N, are you gay? No. I'm not that kind of gay. I mean, I'm gay as in, you know, a gay abandon. I'm quite a cheerful kind of chap. I certainly make the effort to be anyway, because that's what people like. They like people to be gay rather than grumpy. So, yeah, okay. Mature cheddar is best, and I agree. And F4214N, what's your pronouns? Right, I can't really. It's very difficult to actually answer that because I don't really think they make any sense personally. I think, without wanting to get into anything like that, to me it doesn't make any sense. I agree, Jimmy. Yes. Oh, thank you very much. That's exactly what I just said, Jimmy Quinn. I like mature cheddar. So does my cat, Zippy. C. Jones, you made your own pastry dough. Yes, I did. Gay means happy. Yes, exactly. Cooking at this time, says TWR. Well, it depends really on where you are in the world as to whether that is an issue. And, well, it's only 10 o'clock here It's only 10 o'clock. I suspect this pie will be ready by about 11. It doesn't mean I'll have to eat it. I can save it. I don't have to eat it tonight, do I? I can just cook it and leave it to cool down, but I will definitely end up eating a bit of it. That is for sure. That is looking quite good. So I'm just going to tip this in there in just a minute. I'll just carry on reading this out. A Swiss flag, C. Jones. It's sad that the best cheeses in the world are illegal in the US. Ah, right, I was right then, I thought so. God of cheese. That's interesting. Have you ever had a nice glass of cocoa milk? I love cheese as well. Everybody loves cheese. Hi, Barry. When can we change your name? Big Country Thomas. Irish cheeses are the best in the world. Jesus, you sound like a TV presenter says spleens. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll take it as a good thing. Yes, you speak nicely, clearly. Thank you. The Son of God is multi-talented, says Pinky. I won't eat the pie tonight. It will repeat on you. It don't bother me that though, particularly. I quite like eating in the evening. Scar Dragon 125 done. Done what? I hope you enjoyed it, whatever the case. And hello is back. Ah, right. We need a week to go chess. Oh, right. Yes. Right, now the cheese sauce is ready to go into. Do you know what? Somebody mentioned beer before, and I think I'm gonna have to put one in the freezer. There we go. My usual stuff, usual cheap stuff that just happens to be quite okay. This is ready, as I said, to go in there. Spleens, good thing. It's as if you're about to drop some sick historical facts on me. It's interesting. Well, we're having a rather good time tonight, aren't we? Now, this is the point where I find out that I've made too much cheese sauce. And the fact is, it doesn't really matter because I can I'll save some of it and just stick some in a pot and it could be used another day for something else. I'm going to do this properly. Rather than just tipping the whole thing in, I'm going to gently spoon it in like I care about the cheese. I do. There we go. One nice little bit. Oh, another nice little bit. I don't really know whether we want lots and lots of cheese in here, lots of so much sauce that in actual fact you can't actually bite into it without it all spilling everywhere. But I'm not trying to make the kind of pie that you just eat while you're walking down the street. No, this is to sit down with and have it with some broccoli or potatoes or whatever else it is that you happen to like to eat with your cheese pie. But I am also rather aware that you can have a bit too much of a good thing. And I'm probably right on the edge with this. Could have done with being maybe just a little tiny bit thicker, but I think that's it. I think that's the amount that I want. So that is surprisingly half of it, half of the cheese sauce. Well, there's loads of it left, loads of it indeed. And the next time I want some cheese sauce, I can just get it out of the pot. Let's have a quick measure of how deep the cheese sauce is, because to me that looked like there was enough there. I want it to be about that thick. I don't want it that thick because that's too much. But this is a spoon, and a spoon can be used for measuring things with. And actually, the dipstick of spoon is showing less cheese in there than what I thought. So I'm just going to bung it all in. Why not? Eh? Why not indeed? What could go wrong? Well, very little. And that's probably exactly the correct amount. Yes, indeed. Now, what we also want next, of course, is the lid. As soon as I read a couple more comments. Do people in the UK eat green peppers? Well, I certainly do. I like them a lot. Also, sorry about the strange questions as before. I didn't realise right away that the questions would be mouse maybe random. Thank you for being so kind. Okay, I'll try and be kind. That's a spoon, says Sean Rankin. Yeah, it was a spoon. Yeah, the dippy spoon. Is that the one you mean? Golden Cocoa Bear. Let's not go into all that stuff, eh? Andrew Buttigieg is here, just like checking the oil. Exactly, that was the point I was making, yeah. Peckham or Ilkeston, says Pingu. That's probably a football thing, and we don't do football on my live streams. Oh, no. Left or right? The mischief buds. Hi, hello. Barrett, thinking of changing my name. Thinking of changing my name to Ariel Bender, says Cheeseburger. Yeah, let's not. Right, Nicole Michaels. I'm not. That's not football, you numpty, is it not? I don't know. See, the thing is, when anybody says something versus, I just think, oh, football. Right, let's make the top for this. So again, we're going to have a nice big dollop of pastry and lots of flour. This is going to be a bit tricky because this time I've obviously got to lay this on the top of there and get it to stick as well. Getting it to stick isn't so easy. I don't think. Yes, it is. Of course it is. It will be done. Getting the right shape, that's the difficult part. I'm not just oversize it instead, that's the best way. Oh, that's a huge lid. Didn't measure that. Oh, yeah. That's definitely big enough. Look at that. Look at the size of that. Oh, and that's definitely gone a little bit overboard on that side there. So let's cut that bit off. And we've got this bit left over, which I shall try and use to pinch the bit together. Or maybe I could, you know, you could put like a decoration on the top. Yeah, I could put my own name on there. I could actually put on there my favourite football team if I like football, but I don't, so I won't do that. A bit. This is probably going to work quite well because I don't think I was a bit concerned about having made enough pastry But when I've made one before, I thought I've not really made quite enough pastry. But this time I definitely haven't got that problem. Who likes a lot of pastry on their pie? I'll tell you what, I do. I definitely do. Could I make something, do you reckon? Could I stretch this out? Or let's put the oven on as well. I'm going to make a nice big pastry worm to dangle over the top of the pie. Oh, what can I smell? I can smell curry. Pastry on pies are the best part usually. Indeed. Ooh. You know, I know what I'm going to do. Something really simple. Something really simple. And that. This is genius, okay? This is exactly what you need. It'd be nice to have like a cat on top of the pie or something like that, but no, something much more suitable, I'm thinking. Ooh. Surprisingly difficult to actually do though. You know, if you want to write something that goes on the top of the pie, it just not that easy. Much more difficult than it looks. Right, okay. There we go. 42. Pie number 42. And it's not number 42 as in how many pies I've made, because this is, well, maybe about the 7th or 8th, but only the second time I've made my own pastry. Also, it's quite a good idea to use a bit of egg white on the top as well, isn't it? So a brush spoon. I haven't got one. I have to use a detailing spoon instead. Let's just use a spoon. Gosh, egg's disgusting like this though. I don't want that bit, and I don't want that bit. So what's left? Oh, come on. Right, okay. That'll do. That's going to do. That's going to go in the oven. And is it ready? That's big. I know you like it big. So into the oven we go with the big pie that we have here. Big pie, big pie, big pie 42. I reckon maybe the next thing I should do is a bit of cleaning up. That's part of cooking, isn't it, of course? Oh. Mustard is a good twerker. Yeah, come on. Egg wash or pastry or milk. And the pastry or milk. Ooh. Good, you're all chatting about the right thing anyway, at least. More difficult than it looks, he says, like twerking. Smash, says Goofy Goblin. Smash. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not for me. Oh, I'm thinking of Smash with a robot sleeve. The pretend mash. Remember that? Mash for people that couldn't figure out how to cook a potato. Righty then. I think that after an hour and 25 minutes and 29 seconds, 31 now, we shall call this a day, because we don't want to be hanging around. Oh, turn it off. I would actually quite like to clean up. And then, if you look at my channel later on, you will see the pie in question. Nice photograph of it. Yes, on the community board thing. So, let's just check over to make sure that nobody else has joined in and going to be confused at me disappearing so quickly. Oh, good. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Now, I am going to go now, so thank you very, 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 very much. All of my regular people on this channel, or the Project Nigel channel, of which I am normally on. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you to all of the new people, the ones that are here now and the ones that have since buggered off. I am very, very much in whatever it is, just really pleased. Don't forget to press the like button if you wouldn't mind. That would help me out a great deal. And I will see you very, very soon with more mustard in the kitchen. If I'm going to cook, I may as well be here showing you, hadn't I? Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye.